Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope everyone is well and good. Now let's begin another timeless talk by Abdullah. You see, the quantum field is a creation which consists of subatomic particles created by the Creator Allah. When the Big Bang expansion was created, at the same time the Creator created space-time and matter, amongst many other things that are unseen to us, invisible to us. For example, our thoughts are invisible to us, our minds are invisible to us, our souls, your soul and my soul, they are invisible to us. The event horizon is invisible to us. Other dimensions are invisible to us. The atom is invisible to our eyes. But we know that our thoughts exist, our minds exist. So invisibility in this case is real. Therefore, angels are invisible to us. Jinns are invisible to us. And talking about jinns, you see, Satan, the devil, is a jinn. That's correct. The devil is created by a smokeless fire. And of course, the devil was created by the Creator Allah to tell us that arrogance is a bad idea, because it is the devil, it is Shaitan, Satan, devil also known as Satan, or Satan also known as the devil, and also Satan goes by the name Iblis in the Quran. So when the Creator Allah said to the angels and the Iblis jinn, who is Satan, the devil, to show respect, to bow down to Adam, peace be upon Adam, and don't forget, it was a direct command from the Creator Allah. All the angels obeyed, but Satan, Iblis, the jinn, the devil, disobeyed. And what did he say when the Creator Allah asked him, why did you disobey? He said, I am made of fire and he is made of clay. And that was showing arrogance from Iblis, from Shaitan, from the devil. And therefore, long story short, the devil, Shaitan, Satan becomes the part of the earthly examination for us. Now, carrying on. You see, we, mankind, the children of Adam, peace be upon Adam, take everything for granted. And yet we are not grateful to the Creator Allah. We should be more grateful. We should, be more grateful to the Creator Allah. The things that we take for granted and don't even think about are the oxygen that we breathe in and out every second of every day, our breathing, the fish that we eat, the food that we eat, the water that we drink, and so forth, the clear blue sky in the summer that we enjoy. Our eyes, we did not pay for them. Our hands, we did not pay for them. Our organs, we did not pay for them. The trillions of cells that we have inside us, and every single cell knows what to do. Again, we did not pay for them. The money that we have in our pockets is made from paper and copper, etc. If there was no trees and no metals, then there would be no money. The money is just a medium of exchange. Don't forget, the money, be it Bitcoin or pounds or dollars, it has to be backed by resources. And what are resources? The resources are from the Creator Allah. Yeah, soil, so crops that grow on soil. Yeah, bananas. Yeah, apples, trees that give bananas, and various fruits. Resources, water. Yeah, rivers that give us fresh water. Rain that gives us water to drink. Mountains that gives us minerals. Minerals underneath the earth and above the earth. Resources is all from the Creator Allah, and any kind of currency has to be backed by resources. I mean, that's to do with economics. So, the money is just a medium of exchange. The money itself cannot create anything. Yeah, think about that. The money itself cannot create anything. If there is no crops and no rain for water and no oxygen to breathe, we would all be dead very soon. Think about that. By the way, the theory of evolution, especially Darwinian theory of evolution, became the evolutionary theories, which is all nonsense, because it's all based on assumptions and based on assumptions, all nonsense. Read Signature in the Cell, or watch the YouTube video or Signature in the Cell and Darwin's Doubt by Stephen Meyer. Also, you can read the Signature in the Cell and Darwin's Doubt books by Stephen Meyer, where Stephen Meyer uses genetics to disprove especially the Darwinian theory of evolution. So, oppositely, important thing that we forget is that we did not create such as we did not create ourselves. We did not create anything. Did we create the stars? No. Did we create the oceans? No. Did we create the mountains? No. Did we create the animals? No. Did we create the sun? No. Did we create the moon? No. Did we create the galaxies? No. And so forth. You see, the children of Adam, peace be upon Adam, in their arrogance and in their ignorance, is living the earthly life without acknowledging the Creator Allah. This will not benefit us, ignoring the Creator Allah, denying the Creator Allah. And what is shocking is that we are being ungrateful to the Creator Allah. Try doing that to you. Try doing that to your business if you are self-employed, or to your employer, and see what happens. What I mean is, you have a job, and if you don't do your job properly, then eventually your employer will sack you, will terminate your employment. Okay, but here, let's look at especially the non-Muslims. They are disobeying the Creator every day. They are disobeying the Creator every day. They are doing their own things, living their own way of life, and yet they are still sleeping and getting up and sleeping and eating food. And the food, don't forget, is from the Creator Allah. That's correct. Your money does not buy, your money buys the food, but if there is no food in the shops, your money cannot buy the food. That makes sense? Let me give you a quick story. So, a long time ago, somewhere in Russia or Siberia, where it's very cold, and in winter it gets really cold, and so they had this famine, and because of the famine there was no food, but people had lots of money in their pockets, in their wallets, in their safe, but there's no food in the shops. There's no food. So eventually, the rumor story, I don't know if it's true, is that people started eating other people, cannibalism. And the other story is that they eventually starved to death, but actually I think they froze to death before they starved to death. So what I'm saying is they had money, but there was no food in the shops. So then they couldn't buy food with the money that they have, with the money that they had, because there was no food in the shops. So okay, so this is important to understand. Everything belongs to the Creator Allah, and everything comes from everything belongs to the Creator Allah, and the resources are from the Creator Allah. Don't forget that. That's important to understand. Nobody does anything without a purpose, except if someone is drunk or mentally incapable. So no one does anything without a purpose. So why do scientists think or contemplate that the universe has no purpose? If that is the case, then what are we all doing here? If we have no purpose, then why are we trying so hard to reverse aging? Yeah, let me say that again. So, especially to the atheists, if we have no purpose, then why are we trying so hard to reverse aging, to sustain fusion power? Why are we exploring the cosmos? If we have no purpose, and don't forget I am saying if we have no purpose, then why do it? I mean, space exploration and researching subatomic particles, and can there or is there other dimensions, and is there a wormhole through a black hole? Why this? Why do all this? I mean, basically, to the atheist, yeah. To the atheist, life is meaningless. Think about it. To the atheist, life is meaningless. I mean, first of all, don't forget, atheism is a choice based on arrogance and ego. That's correct. Atheism is a choice based on arrogance and ego. Because I explained this in my previous podcasts and other podcasts, that there is someone uncreated and supernatural who began creation, who started the existence, who therefore created the entire existence, including you and me. And that someone is the Creator Allah. Let me say it again. You have to have someone who is uncreated and supernatural to begin creation. And that someone is the Creator Allah. That is logical. That is logical thinking, rational thinking from a functional mind. Now, if your mind and brain, but specifically if your mind is functional and it can think logically and rationally like my mind, then you should come up with the same result. And that result is you have to have someone who is uncreated and supernatural. Who is uncreated and supernatural. Yes, you have to have someone who is uncreated and supernatural to begin creation. And that someone is the Creator Allah. That's it. That it's easy. I don't know why people, especially atheists, like to complicate things for themselves. Like I said, atheism is based on ego and arrogance and ignorance. Ignorance and arrogance, they're interconnected. Egoism, yeah. Atheism is based on arrogance, ego, and ignorance. So, when you choose and you have chosen to be an atheist, and also when you have chosen to be an agnostic, when you have chosen to be a skeptic, when you have chosen to be a, a follower of an incorrect and misguided religion such as Christianity, Buddhism, Darwinism, Hinduism, Sikhism, basically non-Muslim ideologies, then of course you have chosen to be misguided by yourself, which is a silly thing to do to begin with. And then what happens is Satan, that's correct, the devil comes along. You see, we have been given free will, dual nature, so positive nature factors and negative nature factors. And within the negative nature factors, you have arrogance. Yes, atheism is based on arrogance. And the devil, Shaitan, Satan comes along, and the devil, encourages you to further your silliness, further your, sorry to say, stupidity. And so what happens, you go more deep into this skepticism, this mind, this mine of doubts. You go into like full doubts mode. So who created me? Well, I don't know, or I don't want to know, but it doesn't matter. The universe is telling me to do this and that. What nonsense. And this is what we see in popular culture dramas like Flash and Arrow, or the universe is telling me to do this, or you have this book called Fault in Our Stars. So there is fault in our stars and someone has cancer. No. Cancer has nothing to do with the stars. Yeah, cancer is an illness, and it is a test or a punishment from the Creator Allah. Okay? And a star is made up of helium and hydrogen. You see? So I don't know what John Green was on about. And so Satan, yeah, let's talk about Satan. Satan, the biggest trick Satan did and is still doing, and this trick is a continuous trick by Satan, is that Satan has convinced, especially the non-Muslims, that he is not real. And in doing so, it is easy for Satan, it is easy for the devil. Don't forget Satan, devil, Satan, same thing. It is easy for the devil, Satan, to basically encourage you more into your negative nature zone, and therefore misguide you, mislead you, distract you, and then you experience death as a non-Muslim, and sadly you end up in the fire of Jahannam. So it's time for you to wake up. That's correct. It's time for you to wake up and smell the coffee. It's time for you to wake up and smell the tea. I don't know what you drink, coffee or tea. It's time for you to wake up and smell the hot chocolate. Yeah? Now, you should consider accepting Islam. You should consider accepting Islam and becoming a Sunni Muslim to save the real you, which is your soul. Okay? Don't let Satan trick you, because you really don't want to end up in the fire of Jahannam, hellfire, because it is a horrible and a terrible place. Okay? And don't forget, then, if you are not careful and if you have made the wrong choice and you lived a non-Muslim life, then you will be in hellfire, you will be stuck in hellfire forever. Having said this, the Creator Allah knows best. Okay? And as for agnosticism, you see, so they would say, well, I haven't seen the Creator Allah, so why should I believe? Let me give you a story from the Quran. So you see, Moses, peace be upon him, Musa alayhi wasallam wanted to see the Creator Allah. The Creator Allah said to Moses, it's not a good idea. Moses was standing on a mountain and there was another mountain opposite or adjacent. And so the Creator Allah said, you know that other mountain opposite you, I will show myself to the opposite mountain, and if it's still there after showing myself, then maybe you can see me. And so long story short, the Creator Allah showed Allah's self to the opposite mountain, and the mountain just turned into dust. It just pulverized. It just basically was demolished by Allah showing Allah's self to the mountain. What that means is that the Creator Allah is extremely powerful. And so imagine, you see, the Creator Allah is so much more powerful and so much full of energy than the sun. Okay? Now imagine if the sun were to come closer to us, then we would melt away. We would really dehydrate and die, if you know what I mean. The earth would, all the water would evaporate. Okay? If the sun were to come closer to us, like even for 10 inches closer to us, or if the earth were to go closer to the sun about 10 inches. Okay? And that still would be like millions and millions of miles away. You see, just imagine in Africa, like when it's like 55, 60 degrees. Yeah, people just die of heat death. Yeah, and don't forget, the sun is still like millions and millions of miles away. So just imagine, the Creator Allah is so much powerful than the sun. You don't want the Creator Allah to show Allah's self to us. We will all be toast. Okay, burnt toast. So this is why we can't see the Creator Allah, because the earthly body is very fragile. Now, don't forget, in Jannah, in paradise, we will be able to see the Creator Allah, because in Jannah, in paradise, the Creator Allah will give us a special and a stronger, much stronger body. Okay? So, now, don't forget, Satan, is our greatest enemy. The Creator Allah says in the Quran that Satan is our number one enemy. Satan is the number one enemy to the children of Adam. Peace be upon Adam. Okay? You may be thinking, why Islam? The Quran, since it has been written down 1430 years ago, has not been changed. The Quran and Sunnah, in other words, deal with free will, negative and positive nature, and especially Islam goes against mankind's, children of Adam's desires. Don't be arrogant, no sex before marriage, no alcohol, no drugs, and so forth. Islam, the Quran and Sunnah, explains the wisdom behind pain and suffering, meaning is, you see, the pain and suffering is to do with tests and punishments. So basically, if you haven't done anything wrong to anyone and you haven't disobeyed the Creator Allah, then if you do have illness, then it's a test from the Creator Allah. However, if you have done anything wrong to other people and to yourself, meaning therefore you disobey the Creator Allah and you get an illness such as cancer, for example, then that may be punishment from the Creator Allah. Having said this, the Creator Allah knows best. So that's the wisdom behind pain and suffering. Okay, non-Muslim ideologies cannot explain the wisdom behind pain and suffering, but the Creator Allah does in the Quran. You see, this earthly life is the examination, and therefore in the examination there will be tests from the Creator Allah. Yeah, Allah says this in the Quran. All of us will be tested variously in different ways. I'm paraphrasing. With health, with wealth, with the experience of death, with diseases and illnesses. I'm paraphrasing again. With earthquakes and tsunamis and floods and famine. Yeah, so we have to remember that this earthly life is the examination. And how do you pass this examination? Is that you choose to become a Sunni Muslim. Okay, you choose to become a Sunni Muslim. Why I say Sunni Muslim? Sunni Muslim means Quran and Sunnah, and this is important because there is problems with Shia Islam, or to be specific, Shiaism and Ahmadiyyaism. So for more information regarding Ahmadiyya Islam, Shia Islam, please visit Brother Muhammad Hijab's YouTube channel, and in his channel you will find videos, or you will find videos by Brother Muhammad Hijab regarding Shia Islam, differences between Sunni and Shia, and Ahmadiyya, etc., and so forth. Because it is important to understand that Islam is Quran and Sunnah, Sunnah the teachings and the narrations of the final Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and of course Quran is from the Creator Allah. And of course also there is something known as Hadith Qudsi, which is also from the Creator Allah in the Hadith, therefore the narrations of the final Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Having said all this, in this particular talk and my previous talks and in my books, the Creator Allah knows best, and all my mistakes are mine, and I ask Allah, I ask the Creator Allah to forgive me for my mistakes and for my sins, and all knowledge is from the Creator Allah. And so before I finish this talk, I would like to actually wait, I don't want to finish just yet. There is something else I want to talk about. Now, you see, before I continue, I just want to emphasize regarding the devil, Satan. You see, Satan is real, and Satan, whispers. Yeah, so the whisperer. Satan is also known as the whisperer, and Satan whispers basically ungrateful thoughts. Whispers, interferes with your thoughts, gives you thoughts that are actually nothing to do with your personality, nothing to do with your good personality. And Satan, like I said, the biggest trick Satan the biggest trick Satan demonstrated is it's a continuous trick, is that Satan convinced, especially the non-Muslims, Satan convinced that he is not real, and so then Satan finds it easy to misguide the non-Muslim. It's easy because for Satan to attack you with his whispers, with his evil whispers, he needs you to put your guard down. And a non-Muslim is an easy target for Satan because they don't know how to say A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. They don't know how to say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. They don't know Kul A'udhu Bi Rabbin Nas. They don't know Kul Huwallahu Ahad. So because Muslims have protection from Satan by saying A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. I'm paraphrasing. Ya Allah, protect me from Satan and the evil whispers of Satan and so forth. So you see, it is important to understand that Satan, the devil, does interfere with your thoughts. How else can I convince you, the non-Muslim, that Satan is real and also at the same time invisible? But the Satan, being a jinn, can appear in front of you. The jinn do have that the Satan jinn does have that ability, can appear in front of you. And don't forget, Satan and also the negative nature, the free will, all Satan, the free will, negative nature factors, they are all part of the earthly examination. The main thing to remember is that this life on earth is the earthly examination, and how you pass it is basically you want to choose to become a Sunni Muslim, and you want to experience death as a Sunni Muslim, and inshallah, with Allah's permission and mercy, one day you will enter paradise, you will enter Jannah. Ameen. So you see, the reason I'm emphasizing about Satan is that if you look at crimes, if you look at especially crimes that is hard to explain. So example, you will have a young man or woman or young person suddenly would go into schools and shoot children. That kind of crime, doesn't make sense because by itself, meaning in a murder, if you talk to a lawyer, they will say a murder has a motive, meaning there is a reason behind that murder. Of course, it's wrong. Killing someone is absolutely wrong, but especially a young person going into schools and shooting children. Behind the scenes, it's the devil. Behind the scene, it's the devil, it's Satan. Because who would, with their mind, who has a good mind, want to go and kill innocent children? Yeah. Also, you would see crimes such as a family member suddenly goes mental and kills the family with a knife or a gun, and then kills him or herself. Again, it's this. If you look closely in regards to these particular crimes I am describing, then you would see behind the scenes it's the devil, it's Shaitan, because that's what Shaitan does. You see what the Satan does. He especially when a person is non-Muslim, especially when a person is a non-Muslim, it's easy for Satan to influence, to whisper. And so basically a young person who is sad and depressed, for example, Satan would interfere with his or her thoughts and give them ideas. Well, no one likes you, the world hates you, your city hates you, your town hates you, the people around you hates you, you're good for nothing, etc. I'm giving you example. And so, long story short, the person, goes into a school or kills his family or her family and then commits suicide. And this is what Shaitan wants, because Satan knows that when someone who is a non-Muslim experiences death as a non-Muslim, will end up in the hellfire. And so again, someone who commits suicide will end up in hellfire. Having said this, the Creator Allah knows best. So you see, I am trying to explain to you that Satan is real, and so you want to be aware of Satan, the devil. Okay? And like I said, atheism is based on arrogance, and you should stop all the atheists out there and agnostics out there and non-Muslims out there. You should really think and consider Islam. You should choose to become a Muslim. You should choose to become a Sunni Muslim and therefore live a Sunni Muslim life, meaning following Quran and Sunnah, therefore Islam, and experience death as a Sunni Muslim. And one day, with the Creator Allah's mercy, you will enter paradise. You see, I am saying this to you, to especially the non-Muslims, from the bottom of my heart, because we have been taught that love for others what you want for yourself. And I want to go to paradise, and I want everyone to go to paradise. And this is why I am saying this again and again in almost all my talks and podcasts, that you want to choose to become a Sunni Muslim today. Don't delay, because you don't know when the Creator Allah will send the angel of death to you. And when that does happen, you see, when the angel of death is in front of you, you want to be a Muslim. You want to be that time. When your time comes to experience death, you already want to be a Sunni Muslim and living a Sunni Muslim life, and therefore the angel of death reclaims your soul, the real you, and takes it back to the Creator Allah. Don't forget, you see, when our soul, your soul and my soul, is reclaimed by the Creator Allah, and don't forget, our soul and my soul, the real you is your soul, not your earthly body. And you see, your soul and my soul belongs to the Creator Allah. Don't forget that. Because the Creator Allah created us, and the Creator Allah brought us into existence. Okay, so we don't forget, we once the angel of death comes and the soul is taken by the angel of death, accompanied by other angels. That soul, long story short, is in a state of suspension. I don't know if that's the correct word. In a state of, in Arabic, it's known as barzakh. In a state of basically in a different dimension, in a state of timeless dimension. Yeah, basically it's your grave, but it's in a different dimension, and basically it's it's timeless, that dimension, but what I'm trying to explain here is that once we have experienced death, we would be waiting a very long time for Judgment Day. We don't know when the Judgment Day will take place. Only the Creator Allah knows when. And so this is important. You really want to choose to become a Sunni Muslim, and therefore you see you would be in your mini Jannah grave, what I call it, mini Jannah grave. And so therefore, hopefully you will be not going through the punishment in the grave. That's right. There is punishment in the grave. Then after that there is punishment in hellfire. So this is something for you to consider. Basically listen and reflect. And I know I am saying again and again to consider Islam for your sake, so you save the real you, your soul, because it is, what I'm trying to explain is that I am extremely frustrated that I don't understand why anyone would choose arrogance and ignorance, and why would anyone choose arrogance and ignorance and live a non-Muslim life, and then experience a non-Muslim life, and would want to end up in the fire of Jahannam, would want to end up in hellfire and stay in hellfire forever? I mean, that is just arrogance. Why would anyone want to do that? That is really, I don't like using this word, but that is really, really stupid. Sorry, but it is. So you really want to become a Muslim, a Sunni Muslim, you have the choice. Yeah, you have been given free will. Everyone has been given free will. Everyone has been given free will by the Creator Allah. So you have free will, and using your positive nature factors, and the number one positive nature factor is to choose to become grateful to the one who created you, and that is the Creator Allah, and therefore choose to become a Sunni Muslim. Yes, and therefore live a Sunni Muslim life and experience a death, experience the death as a Sunni Muslim, and one day go to one day with the Creator Allah's mercy enter paradise. So please remember this. This is really important. Carrying on a little bit about Darwinian theory of evolution. You see, Darwinian theory of evolution is based upon assumptions within a probabilistic framework, and it's very problematic, and it is a weak theory. Natural selection and random mutations. I mean, to be honest, random mutations gives you cancer, and natural selection is more to do with survival of the fittest, which when we apply it to society, it's not a good thing. I mean, Adolf Hitler and Stalin. And so what I'm saying is that for more information regarding Darwinian theory of evolution, which is based on assumptions within a probabilistic framework, very speculative, and homology is an assumption, please visit Subur Ahmed Darwinian Delusion YouTube channel. Also look into Signature in the Cell and Darwin's Doubt by Stephen Meyer, the YouTube videos and books, and you will understand that it is not really relevant. We don't actually need Darwinian theory of evolution to have progress in science. And as for scientism. As for science, science is a tool, and so we don't need science to understand Islam, because you can understand Islam with your rational mind. Long as you have a rational mind, meaning you don't have any psychological illnesses, then rationally and logically you can understand Islam. You can read the Quran and understand Islam, no problem. You don't need science to in order to understand Islam. No, because science, is just a tool. Yeah, it's experiments and observations, and don't forget science keeps changing. Yeah, such as Newton said gravity is a pulling force, and Einstein said it's a pushing force, or vice versa. And let's talk about gravity. Has anyone seen gravity? You see my point? So all this, science has paradigm shifts, and but some people become obsessed with science, and they turn it into a religion known as scientism, similar to Darwinism, similar to atheism. It's just I don't know. It's frustrating, really. I mean, the important thing in life, the earthly life, like I said, the earthly life is the examination, and to pass it is you need Islam to pass the earthly examination. Yeah, I've explained this, many times. So, like I said, science is just a tool. That's it. It's like you have a car, and if you need a car, you drive the car. If you don't need it, you don't need a car. You can sell your car, and you can just use your legs. I mean, I don't know what kind of. What I'm saying is, maybe that was a bad example, but we don't need science. We don't need to be obsessed with science. Okay? And yes, I mean, let's talk about scientific progress. Okay? Now, science tells us that in about 5 to 7 billion years, more or less, our sun, which is a main sequence star, our sun will become a red giant and swallow up all the planets in its path, which includes planet Earth. And then 2 or 3 trillion years later, our universe, within a limited multiverse, our universe, in 2 or 3 trillion years later, will lose all its energy and stop to function. So now the question is, what scientific progress are we on about? What I'm trying to say is, a day will come in the future. Don't forget, within the limited multiverse, and especially in our universe, the Creator Allah created time. Time is a special creation. Some say it's the 4th dimension. However, time, we go through time, we age. So time is a creation, a special creation. And so therefore, in the future, and therefore time makes possible past, present, and future. And so therefore, in the future, one day, the sun will become a red giant and swallow up the earth, and therefore earth will become like totally extinct. You see? And then also the universe one day will stop to function, and everything within the universe will basically stop to function, cease to exist. So what scientific progress are we on about? You see my point? Now, if you take that into context, if you take that one day the sun will swallow up the earth, and one day the universe will stop to function, and therefore any number of universes within the limited multiverse will stop to function, and there is no infinite universes and infinite regress. Yeah, all that I've mentioned in other podcasts and talks. And you can't have a infinite number of universes, okay? And all that has been explained in other talks, and also explained by Hamza Andrea Zotzis and other scholars. Okay, so coming back to the topic, one day the sun will swallow up the one day the sun will swallow up sorry one day the sun will swallow up the earth, and one day in the future the universe will stop to function. In that context and in that understanding, what scientific progress are we talking about? Yet there is no scientific progress, because one day in the future the sun will swallow up the earth, and one day in the future the universe will stop to function, cease to exist. So in that context, there is absolute extinction for us and everything inside the universe. So what scientific progress are we on about? Now you see, you should understand why the Creator Allah says in the Quran that one day everything will perish, also known as the Armageddon. You see, one day everything will perish. Yeah, and then after that day, yeah, I think is known as the Day of Reckoning, just before the Day of Judgment. Yeah, so everything will perish one day. I'm paraphrasing, and then it's Judgment Day. Okay, this is why it's important for you, the non-Muslim, yeah, to become a Muslim, to become a Sunni Muslim, to choose to become a Sunni Muslim and live a Sunni Muslim life, and then experience death as a Sunni Muslim, and then you and I, one day with the Creator Allah's permission and mercy, will enter paradise, enter Jannah. Ameen. Now, carrying on, Darwinian theory of evolution, and I want to talk about, so for example, humans as well as the many other life forms on earth have complex, intricate systems. These intricate systems point to some type of designer, and to argue they formed naturally over many years is as crazy as saying a watch could do the same. Not only this, the watch is made up of many different parts, some of which would be obsolete without the others. The motor wouldn't turn without the battery, the watch hand wouldn't turn without the motor, etc. This is known as something called irreducible complexity, meaning that without all the parts of the system combined as one, the system becomes useless. Irreducible complexity is highlighted in many biological organisms. The main premise behind irreducible complexity is if something is taken out of the system fails to continue working. The system fails to continue working. This would mean the system could not have been built in successive modifications, as everything is needed at once in order to make it function properly. It's all or nothing. Either the everything is there and the system works, or something is missing and it doesn't. There is no in between. Charles Darwin said in his book Origin of Species, if it could be demonstrated that any complex organ existed which could not possibly have been formed by numerous successive slight modifications, my theory would absolutely break down. This means that based on what the founder of evolution himself, stated, Darwinian theory of evolution. If something existed here on Earth which could not be explained by successive modifications over time, it would disprove the theory. And based on what we're about to go, based on what I just said, this would mean the theory has been disproven. Let me say this again. So, if something existed on Earth which could not be explained by successive modifications over time, it would disprove the Darwinian theory of evolution. And therefore, I have just disproven the Darwinian theory of evolution.